Good morning. Please excuse any background noise as this was the quietest location I could find this morning. This statement is meant for Governor Lamont to see and hear, and I urge each and every one of my followers to please share it if we want our voice to be heard in the beauty industry. You can share it by following the prompts and the hashtags within the video description, as well as following my YouTube. Good morning, Governor Lamont. My name is Justine Weinberg, and I am writing this statement on behalf of many beauty professionals that do not fall under the category of the scope of practice of hair and nail services in the state of Connecticut. I will be referring to the statement you made saying businesses would start reopening in the state of Connecticut on May 20th, and we all need clarification as to why we are still being avoided as the closures of salons are starting to be lifted. The professionals I'm specifically referring to are estheticians, lash technicians, makeup artists. Many of us follow similar protocols with our health and safety practices, some even more so. It is confusing to many of us when we hear a statement such as this, yet our local health department, they're telling us that we need to wait for the green light from them to reopen, and that May 20th is just a start, but not likely for us. This has been an extremely difficult time for many of us, and I wish to share my personal experience with you to help you understand what many of us are going through. I own a spa in Woodbridge and have been both an esthetician and lash professional for nearly 15 years. I voluntarily closed my space a couple of days prior to receiving a letter from my health department requiring us to shut down without further insight as to when we'd be reopening. I felt that decision was the right thing to do, even with the high standards that we already have at my space involving health and safety protocols. Today marks May 3rd, where I've officially had my doors closed for 48 days. Since I've closed my doors, I've had no luck with any loans or any government assistance. Many of us have very different situations that make any of these assistance programs not options for us at this time in our industry. I had a small glimmer of hope as I awaited all weekend for the new site to be fixed, for independent contractors to finally maybe get some relief, which was supposed to start on April 30th, only to be severely disappointed and exhausted from staying awake last night and seeing no changes, as it is now May 3rd with the site still under maintenance. So that marks 40 days of lost revenue, yet I will be responsible in paying all my dues back for months. I wasn't even in business. 48 days of lost human contact and conversations. 48 days where business licenses and expenses are still going to be due, and some with no deferrals. Supplies will still need to be restocked, and personal lifestyle still needs to be maintained, such as mortgages, bills, or simply feeding a family. I won't even get into the situation of business owners secretly working out of their homes these last 48 days. Because when you are active on social media, you can still see everybody who's taking bookings. They have caused many safety concerns for our clients and themselves, or for their clients and themselves, which hopefully they now see is an issue if they're watching the statement. So please hear my concern and my plea for this industry. There are many of us that want to get back behind the chair. I know for myself personally, and some others, that May 20th may not even be realistic, as the quantity of PPE is still low, hard to locate, or expensive, and we will need those supplies to be working at such a close proximity to clients. Many of us already will have to take on the expense of not just our rent and utilities, the loss of wages, but when we return, many of us are going to have to experience throwing out products that have expired, as well as retail, and possibly have clients not come back due to hardship or them still being cautious. Maybe it will be the fact that we already will be extending the time in between our clients for even more in-depth sanitation protocols and only be able to take 2 clients a day, or still having to social distance and only have a certain amount of people in the space at that time. Or maybe the technicians themselves are worried for their own safety as well as their families. But why should we be punished under those circumstances? I also want to mention this personal message from myself, which maybe some in my industry can relate to. Being an educator in our industry, for lashes specifically, prior to this, I was going through the grueling process of becoming approved in the state by the Board of Education for what I have done exceptionally for nearly 4 years. I was excited to see our industry take a turn towards regulation of some sort in January, but the process has been very difficult for me to even come close to being able to teach again, which is what I love most. The amount of money that the state is requiring and the loops I have to jump through being a solo educator who teaches small one-on-one classes a few times a month is absolutely impossible. To not be given answers as to how they will approve these courses when they don't have those that are knowledgeable with the process of lash application approving the courses, delaying the process even more so has been an absolute headache. With this very grim situation happening across our nation, it now looks to be even more so impossible for me to continue to give back to the lash industry as I was doing before, with the hopefully temporary shutting down of my business. The system in Connecticut is broken and it's not working. I'm acting as the voice of concern for our estheticians, medical estheticians, lash professionals, makeup artists, brow artists, even massage therapists. I'm going to leave tattoo professionals and permanent makeup professionals out of this because that is an entirely different scope of practice that I personally feel is a separate industry. I am hoping that this statement will help you understand that many of us with small businesses are struggling. We are truly the industry that helps bring community together, not only for beauty or vanity services, but we are also an outlet for many clients to come and gain their sense of clarity and assist with their mental health and overall well-being. Many of us will not be able to pull ourselves through this, and we are going to be forced to close. Many of us business owners, a majority of women in this industry, will have their dreams crushed out of entrepreneurship as we continue to struggle to not only keep our doors open, but also put food on tables for our families. I urge you to listen, Governor Lamont. I urge you to find a solution because this current situation is not working for nearly all of us in our industry. And I thank you for your time. Love, light, and lashes to you all. Share this. If you feel the same way, I will be happy to start a petition. You can reach out to me personally on my Instagram. Have a great Sunday. Be well, be safe, live with love and light in your heart, and knowledge, not fear.